hours and a full-day. All meals and room and board are included. The anthology is still not published. There is a problem Cheryl will try to solve. J.C. Fields told others there are new keyword regulations. A couple are, you can no longer say, if you like books by a certain author, you will love this one. Be sure to look this up before you choose your keywords. Our speaker was award-winning author Lisa Wells. She gave an informative presentation on how to plot. She has offered to send the presentation to Sharon, who will send it out. The meeting was adjourned. Susan Keen, secretary.
I never did get that. Are there any changes besides Dee's name that we need to do?
Yeah, it said writing spirit. I've changed it to Sprint.
Sprint. Okay, any changes? Okay.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Shirley, will you turn that over right now?
She'll
So am I
second.
supposed to be taking secretary?
Yeah.
You never told me
I
that.
just did.
Marguerite
I
seconded.
know we just did. That was
Marguerite
sneaky.
seconded.
Marguerite
And
seconded.
all in favor?
Okay,
Mine won't be like Tim Rivers. Just
thank you for that.
Mhm.
He took 5, 6, 10 minutes to read his. He did very good job though, but it was really,
Too much.
yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
Okay, there was a couple of things that we need to address. One of them was, let's see those, I'm sorry. Let's see the minutes first. We did have on the between the pages, we'll call old business now, on between the pages, one of our agents stepped out. Her family surprised her with vacation. She and her husband's anniversary. And so they're probably gone that week to the Cayman Islands or somewhere. But we do have another agent, and he is from the Heartlink agency, and his name is Kyle Young. John has reached out to him. He was referred to us by Stephen James. And so John has reached out to him. He said he will check his calendar and see if he can make it. So
he's not confirmed yet?
he's not confirmed a firm yes, no. Yes, no.
Has yet to confirm.
So, and then there was another thing on it too. We still need people for the play, is that correct,
Yes.
Nancy?
Okay.
For,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was just wondering when and if we're gonna ever get a manuscript and figure out who we are, what we.
We will get a manuscript, the manuscript is done.
Yeah, we just need to know who's in it.
But
Well, I volunteered,
Yeah, she
but I have
is.
no idea. I mean, I could be the
I
best
think she's
lawyer.
5.
Who knows?
Okay, well, I need to.
I think she's 5. I'm not sure.
I would have brought my laptop.
I think you're character 5. I'm not
We'll
sure.
let you know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
What's a character 5?
We don't know.
You really want detail?
Yeah.
About who you are and what you're gonna do, is this the play?
Okay, no
I
detail.
wouldn't be talking about that.
No,
We will tell you.
We're not gonna
That's
talk
just
about
for the
that.
actors to do
Yeah.
the rehearsal,
And
right?
Kathy's
but
not
we still
I'm not
need
in
it.
it. No, I'm sorry.
You want in on it? Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, now your character 55.
George?
I'm thinking about it.
It's a short play. This gentleman, if we needed a guy, we could
Use
use
a
his.
screenplay writer, yeah.
We just need characters, they're short parts, all the bigger parts are already taken. So they're smaller parts with a couple of lines.
Bit part.
What's it about?
Well, we can't
I'll
tell.
tell you.
Yeah,
yet.
then we'd know and it wouldn't be,
Well.
it's a whodunit kind of
Yeah, it's
solve
a
the
whodunit.
mystery. So we can't
So you
say.
have people that just have cards that pop up and say stuff.
The name is Murder at the Doubletree, if that tells you. So, you wanna do a part?
I don't know.
Are you gonna be at the conference?
That would help.
Oh, well,
In
yes,
June.
I need to get with it.
Okay,
I
did
have
you
flyers.
register and get your money back?
No, I don't think I had gotten registered yet.
Okay. I forgot, I don't have the registration, I
I have
forgot
flyers.
everything this morning, I don't, huh?
I have flyers.
You have flyers? Okay,
I'm still trying to figure out if
Just carry it with
I
me.
don't remember getting my money back,
I'm sorry.
but I
Yes,
don't know
but you
who,
may.
who knows. I did pay once.
yeah, but you got your money back. You already
Because it
took
was
this out
like 2 years
before, and I
ago.
will send you the,
So I have to pay it?
I'll have to look.
Nancy.
You're a board member, so you pay board member.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't have registration, but if you want to register today and pay today, with a check or cash,
Isn't there a registration thing on here?
no.
No, there is not, I'm sorry.
I can take it, all we need is your name and address, and if you want to sign up for a headshot, or pitch, anything like that. If you want an author's table, author tables are $25 for half and $50 for a whole. For the book signing, we do not have ABC Books now to take care of that.
I don't know, there's what they're definitely out.
Their ABC is definitely out.
is there another
And
option?
we are going to talk to a wife or a husband or a granddaughter. And we're gonna have someone there to take the money. You will get 100% of the money, instead of them taking 20%, which they were gonna
There's a
do.
major problem with this. That means everybody there has to get a business.
No, ma'am.
license.
No,
Whose business license are we using?
paperback press.
All right.
So we use paperback press's license. Now, what we will have to do is we'll have to register with the city. Each individual author will have to put their names on the license, and it will cost each author $5 for the license. So that's what we did for the big thing that we had over the other library. We just used paperback press. So we'll sign up for that about 2 weeks before the conference. So we'll need to know pretty soon if you're gonna be there. So, because June is,
Coming up.
this is March, guys.
So if you want to pay today, I'm sure Sharon will take it.
Yes, and it will be cheaper for you to pay today. If you were, well, you can't go online and pay anyway, but if I take the credit card, there's a $10 upcharge for a convenience fee for paying with credit card. So instead of $175, it's $185. Board members, we have some board members in here, so a little bit cheaper, but
I think most of the board members have paid though.
It's 175 or 195?
Well,
$175 for members
Okay.
of all the groups. If you're a member of SLITs or SWG or ORA, it's $170.
So you need to join the group so you can get it.
Yeah, it costs you $20 to join the group, and you can save $20.
That's a deal. That is a deal.
That sounds like a good deal.
Heck of a deal.
We can show you a good deal. That's it.
I thought she was gonna say, "We'll show you a good time."
I wasn't gonna go that far.
Marguerite, I love your purse, by the way.
Well, what is it? Let me see it.
I didn't.
She got the memo. She got the memo for the purse.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Is that a CC?
It's a
Oh,
yard
A
sale,
what?
$2.
You're
Oh,
kidding.
Wow,
Wow.
guys, that's the best
I'll
kind.
give you 5. I'll give you 5.
Yeah, right.
I love these purses.
Do we have any new business?
And there was the fashion department.
I can't think of any new
Oh,
business.
did you get the anthology yet? Can you say
Oh,
that?
yes, that the anthology is up. I will have copies next month. Your upcharge for the copies are $2. We sell them for $7.99. They're probably gonna cost y'all about $5 a piece. And then you can sell them for the $8 and make $3 on book. But it's really, what happened was, every single anthology I've done for any group, writing group, I've always put the name of the group as the author. Those are romance authors. That's the author of the book. They kept pushed it back, pushed it back. I changed it to your name, because your name is first one on from the book. Or Jerry Mack, I changed it to Jerry Mack, I changed it to my name. They would not publish it, so I thought, you know, crap, I'm gonna do this again. So I put another ISBN on it and redid it, and put Ozarks Romance Letters, and they kicked it out again. I called and pitched a pitch, and a big one, and that guy said, I can see what you've called, and I said, every single writing group I've done this for, I've done that. Finally, they said it was published on February 6th. That's the last time I uploaded it, but they didn't publish it till the 22nd. So
is it under Ozark Romance?
it's under Ozark.
You know, we're getting some weird email. I'm gonna show you at the retreat for sleuths on something, and I don't even understand. You can look at it.
Yeah, I think you showed that to me, and I think we.
You said do it, but I don't know what to do, so I'll show you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm not smart.
You are.
Never-
Your
he never
cuteness
admitted that.
Your cuteness makes it.
No, you're probably not, because smart people don't admit to that.
So anyway, yeah, that's the thing on the anthology. So I will have copies. If you know how many copies you'd like to have, I'll just write it down and take an order, and then you can.
You'll be selling it at
You said
the
$5 a
conference?
piece.
Oh, yeah, we'll be selling it at the conference, ma'am.
$5 a piece.
$5 for each. But what we've done is with the shipping and handling, they're gonna run $3, $3.25 each. So we just, for a fundraiser for the group, we'll charge y'all $2, and then, $2 extra, we'll make it $5, whatever. It's just $5 flat fee, and then y'all can sell it for the $8. So you'll make $3 off of each book. So here's Miss Linda. Have a seat. Yeah. Everybody, this is Linda Apple. She's our speaker today.
Must have you.
Yeah, you do. Anyway, so that we'll have them, and we will sell them at the retreat. At the conference. And if you want to have them on your table and sell them at the conference, that's fine. Any other new business? Kudos. Any kudos? Anybody got? No?
I do.
Well, let's tell you, you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I came to the last meeting, it was a good one. The guest speaker was great.
Showed up in the snow, and nobody else was here.
And I do screenplays, I've done a dozen. I'm not obviously not written famous yet. And for the last 2 years, I went to the Jeff City Writers Group. I live here, but I still work, or retired for a year. But they had theirs at Highway. And my wife died in July, so I haven't been writing a whole lot, but I am. And anyway, I just need to get out of the house. The dogs get tired of talking to me. But yeah, I enjoy it. This writer's group, my wife used to winter in Mexico, and I went to the writers group in Puerto Vallarta, and it was a lot like this. You know, it was good to be with people that have the same addiction. And
That's a good name for it.
yeah. I jump around on genres. I've got one that's supposedly optioned, and it's a surfy rom-com. And I can't write 2 of those in a row. After you write a surfy rom-com, you gotta go low on stuff, you know, so it's all over the board. Anyway, it's fun. It's good to be with like-minded, creative people.
Well, we're glad to have you. Now, there are other writing groups in town. We have Sleuths Inc. mystery writers, and we're pretty much all genre here. Everybody doesn't write romance, and the same with Sleuths. Everybody doesn't write mysteries. And then we also have Springfield Writers Guild, and they're all genre, they're a big group. They meet here also in the auditorium the fourth Saturday, and they have a 10 o'clock mentor hour.
Mhm.
So people bring in critique
Right.
and then the speaker starts at 11, and then the business meeting is at noon.
Right. I got a membership there last year and went to one meeting. And it is nothing bad about that group. It's just that, I would see what the other groups are like when you said you're tolerant of other genres. I thought I would check your group out too. So, I appreciate it.
Well, we've got a new president for Sleuths, and we've got a new president, we've got a man president this time for Sleuths, which is the first. And then SWG also, Springfield Writers Guild, has a new president, named Tim River.
Yeah.
And
I think I met him at the meeting.
So Cheryl will be president of the board.
I'm not, I don't plan on it. We need a treasurer. I'll be treasurer, somebody be president.
I've
Oh,
done president before, but
get away.
Smart aleck.
Yeah. Get away from this cold weather. Anyway,
Well, we're glad to have you.
thanks for your hospitality.
I've got a couple of kudos.
Any other business, any
I
kudos?
don't know, I was just gonna say, I don't know, but I did get my novella published in November.
Good.
It's called Inconvenient Love, and it's between my first and second book. It takes the first. One
So
of
it's like a
the- one of
companion
the
book?
secondary characters from the first book, and I wrote her story. So, because she shows up in the third, in the second book, so.
Inconvenient love.
Inconvenient Love.
So you're making this into a series? You're gonna write another
Yeah,
one?
it's a series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's a character pulling out?
Working on number 2.
Okay, cool.
Remember her Party Girls? Is it Party Girl series? that she has?
No, I don't
The
remember.
third one will be Beauty from Ashes, and it's about World War I. And
So the little book is a companion book. Hi, Tim.
Who?
Tim.
Oh.
I have a kudo.
We got a Zoom going on there.
We should mention we don't hear them.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we can't hear y'all. Sorry.
You can
Okay.
do this if you want.
Any more kudos?
Well, go ahead,
I
Joe.
have a kudo.
You, okay, she's got a kudo. Okay, now we might be able to hear you.
Okay, this month on the 26th, I'll be presenting a program to the Young Authors Conference in Independence, Missouri at Fort Osage School. And I finished one book, and I'll be finishing another book in about a week or so, and then I'm in revision hell.
Who is this? Terry?
This is Diana, Diane
Yeah,
Hart,
Oh, okay.
DYA. That's the back of Conita's head.
That's the face of Terry.
There's Miss Terry. Terry, do you have any kudos?
Well, I feel like I do, but I can't think of anything. So I'm just excited about the retreat this week. So we do have a space or two if somebody wants to come.
Are you going?
Mhm.
So we have 2 spaces left, you say? For
One or
couple?
two. Yeah, we can always squeeze in even 3. No, but we definitely have 2, I think.
Hey, Terry,
There's 5 of us here.
can we metal detect on the property?
Can we what?
Can we metal detect on the property?
I can't hear her. Repeat.
And we metal detect on the property.
Use the metal.
I don't know why not. Yeah, go ahead and try it.
We
You
just,
might find some interesting things with all those campers.
yeah, and Kathy's gonna be there this time, so she's the one that stays up late and does all of it.
Oh, yeah, so you won't be all alone.
That'd be
5
fun.
of
And
us.
if it's a really big fine, we get it as a writer's retreat, and we'll give a portion of it to the campgrounds. No, I don't know what the deal
That
is.
wasn't the deal.
We have a new guy. We have a new guy. He doesn't know. He's brand new. We're the first visit, so he won't know. We make the rules. So we go from there.
There you go.
We've got a brand new.
It's 10%.
Yes.
Usually everything's 10%. So,
Yeah, that sounds high.
yeah.
$10, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, so the retreat is really fun. It's on a campground. You don't have to bring toilet paper.
Right.
There are indoor bathrooms. First time Kathy and I went, we're like founding members, not
Well, we
Terry
didn't know.
founded it.
Said campground, so.
Campground, so we took toilet paper and paper towels and coffee pot and everything, you know, we're thinking, well, we're gonna be camping. No, that's not what it is at
No,
all.
well, I didn't know, so you gotta be prepared, you gotta have coffee, right?
Right.
We're close enough to town.
Well, I gave directions and lists, but that's okay. And I am not charging, if anybody wants to come, there's no extra fee, even though my website would say that. There is no extra fee. If you decide you want to come right now, you can regular price, no extra.
Okay, that's cool. Do we get a discount since do we get a senior discount, any of us?
I think that's what I set up as the senior discount. I think it started that way.
Probably charge you more.
Why is the youngest one there?
Kayla's going this one.
Kayla, that's right, Kayla's going.
Oh, Kayla's going, I forgot, Kayla Griffith.
Oh yeah, Kayla's going. Marguerite will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's the baby.
so that's six of us from ORA.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. All righty, well, if there's no more kudos, we're gonna introduce.
I have just the one, but most everybody knows it, that I made my 50,000 in Jano.
Oh, that was on that.
Yeah, and you know, it really did spur me on to writing, because I've been slacking off. And without having to do that, I wouldn't have written it.
I guess I want to go too then. I won the pitch contest at Jana.
That's right, you did. Yes, you did.
Hey, these are kudos too, just because they.
You should tell everybody what Jana is, because they don't know.
Jano is part of Sleuths Inc. They have a thing called NaNoWriMo in November, and everybody just tries to write up to 50,000 words or 50,000 words or more. We have ours in January. We call it Jano, and we have an extra day to write. And we try to get 50,000. We have door prizes and awards and everything. We have a big lunch. We have a big Jano party for lunch in February to give out the awards and everything. It's really fun deal. This coming year in 23, we are going to charge $10 for lunch, because it gets pretty expensive with our little group to, I think $500 or something was this year,
Yeah.
or a little more,
We actually
to
spent
feed
more.
everybody.
Well, that money is not gonna
And-
profit anybody, just help out the treasurer, that's all.
Yeah, that's,
Well, and that means we can give better prizes too.
well, and plus what's gonna happen is with that $10, it's not gonna cover the fee
Yeah,
of the
no.
food.
that's what
So
I
we're
meant.
gonna take up the,
That's what I meant. It's not
expense,
gonna
yeah.
profit us. It's just gonna help the treasurer.
but it's a fun time. Conita's our chair, kind of. We're
She
all-
was the chair anyway.
Ideas.
She's the one with the
She
good
may
ideas.
not wanna do that again.
This year we had a
Yes,
butler,
it is.
and he stood there with his towel over his arm, and he served us our candies. She made all these little neat little things. He served everyone. He served the nuts, he served the cake, everything. It was really, really awesome, and that was John Caulfield's son. But we kept that a secret till the end.
Well, see, I knew that at the beginning, but I thought it was gonna be like
Because
a
you
dinner
said-
plate or
Yeah, we know you
something.
did, because you kept saying, oh, I think that's John's son. Oh, that's John's son. And we were going,
It was a secret.
but anyway, so that's that. If there's no more, I'm going to turn it over. You gotta go ladies' room? Okay,
A 5-minute break for.
yep, we'll do a 5-minute here,
Okay.
and then we'll turn it over to Linda. Linda, do you have a PowerPoint?
I would have if I'd known it was.
You don't have to?
Yeah, I didn't know that was offered, so. Any handouts that you can take home. and use.
Cool. Thank you.
See what y'all get for not being here? We get a handout.
Hey, I'm so glad I can be here this way. So
Me
this is
too.
the only way it could happen.
I am too. I'm gonna set this so y'all can see. Hey, Jan. There's not gonna be anyone manning the chat today, Jan, so,
Yeah.
um,
I thought I counted. Thanks.
Hey, Sharon, give me a copy and bring it Thursday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you have an extra copy? Do you have an extra copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm gonna take it for her. Terry
I've
wants
got
me to
loads
bring
of
mine.
extras, I'll just leave you.
Okay.
Okay, all right, just let me know how many you need. 150.
Diane, this must be our listening posture.
Yeah, I'm the
There's
same
no-
way.
We're doing the same thing.
Or it makes me look younger, one or the other.
That's right. We're doing facelift here.
Can you?
Sorry,
I'm 10 years
That way
doing
you
it,
can
you know.
Like, get up there. I just did a live Mary Kay Facebook thing.
Canito will be back, so.
I know, your head's in the way.
Looks like everybody's wearing either blue or black and white today.
We haven't all got this kind of turquoise color on, blue.
Yeah.
I went with pink.
I had a question about Sleuth's Ink. When does it meet? Because I have like 3 murder mysteries that I've got my rights back to, and I'm going to
Just,
republish.
oh, you mean for, hold on, Diane.
Okay.
So I've got a lot more if anybody else needs.
Do you want one of these handouts for the next meeting you get to come to, Diane?
A handouts, yeah, I'd like to have a handout if possible.
Yeah, just a couple more. There's one for Jan, and one for Diane, and one for Terry.
It's just, I would have come today in person, but I've been under the weather, so I just thought, well, we'll just do it.
Now, what was the question you asked about sleuths?
I was just, well, I have 3 murder mysteries that I got my rights back to. 2 were published by Entangled. The other one hadn't been published yet. It was for Entangled. But I was having issues with them. So I got my rights back. And so I thought, well, they're mysteries, so maybe I need to join Sleuth Inc. as well.
Yeah,
So what is the dates that they meet? Second
they
Saturday?
meet the second Saturday of the month at 10:30, just like we do in this same room
Same room, okay.
in A. And then Springfield Writers Guild meets the 4th Saturday in the auditorium here at the library. Their mentor hour is at 10 and their meeting starts at 11.
Springfield Writers Guild
Uh-huh.
on the 4th Saturday.
Mhm. Yep.
So I just kind of did it all hands.
Okay, I'm
Is it-
fixing.
What are the dues for? Sleuth?
Pardon me?
What are there dues for Sleuth Inc?
Yes, I think they're 15.
$15, okay.
Okay, we won't be able to hear you guys. I'm gonna turn the meeting over to our speaker. All righty, everybody, I'd like to introduce Linda Lowe Apple. She is been around a long time. Well, not, you know what I mean.
66 years now.
Oh, see, I've been around longer than you.
66?
I'm 67.
Well, I'm turning 67.
Oh, okay, well, you're older.
She writes all kinds of things. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about herself, but she's also on the board of Ozarks Creative Writers Conference. And I was lucky enough to be asked to be on the board this year, so I'm also on the board. Ozarks Creative Writers, if you're not familiar with it, it is in October. It's in Eureka Springs and it's all genre, and we have speakers, we have workshops, we have awards dinners. It's just really nice. We have a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Before the awards dinner, and I think on Friday night too. Is there a meet and greet with the cash bar?
Yeah. The bar.
The bar.
The bar.
We have to have a bar. So anyway, Linda, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, for those that don't know, I am the conference chair for the standing conference chair. I was president last year. President doesn't mean a lot because Chrissy Willis and I do all the work anyway.
I'm there to help now.
Thank the Lord. But Chrissy, want me to tell you that the contest is now open and registration will soon be open. So go to the website, ozarkcreativewriters.com. And look at our speakers, our schedule. We're gonna have a really good time. I don't know. If you know Mike Blakely, somebody remember him? He's coming back. He's coming back. He's gonna teach about songwriting and he's gonna sing for us. And he's just, I'm just really
Wait a
excited.
minute, wasn't he there a few years ago?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the board.
Kind of-
And then he just disappeared. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't have black hair anymore, it's white. Okay.
And one thing I'd like to mention, and sorry for interrupting, if you're a member of Ozarks Romance Authors, we are sponsoring a contest. If you're a member of Sleuth Think, they're sponsoring a contest. You're not eligible to enter those contests because you're a member.
That's great.
But you can enter any of the rest of them, just not the ones that you're.
Judge your own.
Brilliant.
First place.
10, 10, 10.
Well, in the time that we have together, I was telling my husband this morning, most people, when they come and they talk to writers, they kind of talk about the same thing, just in a different way. And I've been trying to think of something that's kind of out of the box. And so on last conference, OCW conference, the Thursday night speaker had to drop out. So I had to throw something together. And so this is what I'm going to present to you today. Oh, it's not quite as thrown together, and I promise I'm not be tables over. Thank you. If it's going to happen, now you grow. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today is what I call the balance of four. And it's learning about your personality type. And it's important that you understand your personality type because it affects your emotions, your habits, your daily schedules, and how you handle everything that comes into your life. And don't you know that everything that comes into your daily life is going to come out in your writing? So we're going to talk about personality types, and it's not to pigeonhole you. It's to help you kind of understand yourself and understand others. And big bonus is how to build characters. It's a new way to build characters.
Can y'all hear her on Zoom?
Can you hear me?
It's kind of low, but it's okay.
But today we're going to lightly touch on it because it's pretty involved. So I gave you all this material. And what I'm hoping is we're going to be touching on it. But if you really are intrigued by this, you think, hey, this is something I want to do, then you've got something to take home with you that you can continue to play with it and delve deeper into it. Otherwise, if I had the 2 hours, I would go a lot deeper. But we're just going to get to talk, okay? Now, this isn't anything really new. Hippocrates, is that how you say his name? He noticed that when he had patients, he could put them in 4 different categories. And he thought it was their humor or their body fluids. So he thought like the sanguine person had an overabundance of blood. The phlegmatic person, this is gross, had too much phlegm. The choleric person had yellow bile, and the melancholic person had black bile. And so that's how he felt like what drove people and made their personalities the way they were. But all ancient cultures has had it. It had the 4 noble truths, the 4 directions, and then in the modern times we have Myers-Briggs. How many of you are familiar with that word, Myers? And many corporations are using that very effectively and knowing how and where to place people that work for them. There's been a lot of people, like Gary Smalley, you're familiar with the pastor who used to be, he wrote something. Anyway. He wrote something. hidden keys to loving relationships. I'm going to come to. But anyway, so he did the 4 personalities by saying a dog, a beaver, an otter, and a golden, and a lion. And then we have other people that use trees, but all of these are so you can visual, in Myers-Briggs, what they use? QRST1 to the nth degree. It's really hard to remember. And so what I like is using the elements, earth, wind, fire, and water. And the reason I like to do that is because it's easy to remember. It's easy to visualize. It's easy to see how those things are going to interact to each other. And I'm sure that with the lion and the otter, you could see how they could visualize. I mean, you could visualize how they could interact together. And, you know, sometimes that picture wouldn't be really pleasant, would it? So we want to use these elements, and we're going to go quickly. And so again, this is not pigeonhole you. Let's have fire. I want some interaction with this, and let's just have some fun. So go to your fire. Okay. And let's think about fire. The actual fire. These are some of the things I came up with. It's warm, right? Colorful, attention getting. Think about when you walk into a room and in the corner is the fireplace. Where's your attention go? It goes right to the fireplace. It's bold and it illuminates, it lightens up a room. It purifies your food. If you're going to use something to get a needle to get a splinter out, what do? You know, some of us run it through fire. Think about California, it moves forward, doesn't it? It just eats everything up in the path and it moves forward. It's fast, but it also protects, because when you're camping, you light a fire to keep all the mountain lions away from you. So it protects you, but it clears out clutter and underbrush. And those are all very positive things, aren't they? But fire out of control can devastate everything in its path, and it doesn't care how valuable something is. It consumes. You have to constantly feed that thing. It can burn you, it can scar you for life, and it just sucks the oxygen out of the room. So let's look at people who have this fire dominant personality. One thing I didn't say, there's always somebody when I'm teaching this that says, oh, none of these fit me, I'm not any of these, until the spouse is going. So, you know, sometimes we don't recognize ourselves. So if you say that, turn to someone who knows you really well, say which one I am, and they'll say, you'll know right away. So just want to add that. So we got people with fire dominant personalities. They tend to be very warm people and very hospitable. And they tell very colorful stories. And they draw, no matter when you walk in, even if they're not trying to, they draw your attention. How many of you knew Dusty Richards? He was fire. He didn't even, I mean, besides the fact he was this big and he's about that tall. Who could tell a more colorful story than Dusty Richards? And he could be over in the corner and everybody just migrates over to his corner. And he's not trying to do it. He's fire. He's big. He's brilliant. Fire people are visionary and they'll clear a path for others. I can never forget, Dusty was the writer's best friend. And there was an agent there, his name was Terry Burns. And Dusty said, Terry, you know Linda Apple? And Terry said, well, no. And he said, well, here she is, and you need to sign her up. He signed me up. Much to his chagrin, but he signed me up. They are leaders. They are direct and decisive, quick thinkers. And if you ever have an emergency, you want a fire person on your team because they take charge. Fire people can be very blunt and they say out loud what others are thinking. We can be thinking snarky things and they're going to say it right to your face. they set the temperature in the room and the mood. My husband's fire. So when he's happy, everybody's delighted. And my son too. They can walk in a room and be in a bad mood. We all get so happy and all of a sudden we're gone. So, yeah, and they can suck all the oxygen out of the room. And because fire, you know, it takes food, it takes an oxygen, it takes a lot, it takes the wood from the earth to exist. Fire people take all of us to exist. And so in a project, they're going to use all of us, not in a bad way, but they are going to involve us, but they will take all the credit. So the relationship personality, this personality needs is you have to give them direct answers. You gotta get to the bottom line with fire person. They don't want to hear about the feelings, they want to hear the background. Bottom line, get to it. And they want options. My father-in-law was fire. And so he said, you can always come to me with the problem, but you better have 3 solutions in your back pocket. So he would always do this when I go to a problem. So I have to think about it, come up with something. And immediately, when they say something, go, nah, I don't know about this. Don't do that. He said, okay. And then later on, he's like, I've been thinking, Dusty, what about? And so you don't contradict them. You give them some time. So how does this affect us fire writers? Well, fire writers are usually pantsers. Remember, they like to move, fire moves forward. So when they like to write by the seat of their pants. Anybody not familiar? Are you familiar with the word pantser?
No.
Okay, that's writing by the seat of your pants.
All right.
Okay? You just move on ahead. You don't plot. Yeah, you don't plot, you don't outline, you just move right on ahead.
Sit down and you write.
That's right. And they are excellent at marketing themselves. Let me tell you what I'm writing. Let me think about this. You've got to hear the story, and I can see, they can just market themselves. So considering fire's dominant personality traits, how would that affect us as writers? Well, fire writers are assertive in their prose. They will write about things everybody else is afraid to write about. They will tackle subjects that people wouldn't normally tackle. So that's a strength in them. They're edgy and they write stories, again, like others are afraid to approach. They're very informative, even in their novels and in their fiction, they still are going to enlighten you. And they are very intense and passionate about their story. They're direct to the point. There's no clutter in their writing. It's clean and it's precise. So their strength as a writer is they write fast and furious with a strong passion and belief in themselves and their project, and they can see the big picture. They'll take risks and write about things that others, as I said, would cower away from. They're very effective communicators. They're passionate about their topics and their writing. But remember how I said they needed other people? They burn out easy. Sit down, they can write like a house on fire, but then if they're not being prompted and prodded and when people's blowing on them about how wonderful they are and with earth people giving them ideas to work on, they tend to just go cold. So they burn out easily. The other challenge is they can get reckless in their writing and really be offensive. Even in children's books, there's I work with young dragons. And I was reading a picture book, believe it or not. And there was some offensive things in there. And I'm thinking, a children's picture book. And I know this fire person writing it would not take it out. So we put our foot down, this fire person put their foot down, we won. They're very opinionated, and they can be really egotistical. I mean, I love Dusty, but you couldn't get more of an egotistical man. And I have one of my dearest, best, closest friends, and you all know this person, so I'm not gonna say this person's name, but this person cannot take critique. So what you do is, after we're done, the next day, he calls, you know, I was thinking about your story. What about? So, and that, you can go in the back door that way. And this same person, that if they lose a contest, everybody's an idiot and they're mad. So anyway, that's the challenges that you would need to work on for your fire person. And I'm sure if you sit down and you think about fire and come up with some other things that I didn't put about fire, like say you're watching a fire, you're thinking, oh, it's this, it's that. And then it's fun to say, how would that translate into me or a person? And how would this make them stronger writers? And what kind of challenges would it present? So that's kind of what I'm hoping that you'll do. Earth. To me, Earth is the most perfect personality there is. And I'm not Earth. So.
Would you tell us who you were talking, not the person, but you work for?
ORA Creative Media, and the Young Dragons is the young adult children's division. So if you want to know more about that, I'll tell you more about that later.
What did you say? Augment
We have
Media.
community children's offers. Why?
Yeah, Shirley's one.
Yeah, I'll talk to you. Earth is foundational in it. We build on Earth, we stand on Earth. It nurtures, it provides food, shelter, minerals, medicines. It protects. Think about getting in a cave, getting in a copse of trees. It provides different places for us to be protected. It's creative. Think of all the plant life that you see on Earth. It is orderly. Every area of Earth has its own season. Some of us are blessed to have 4 all at once. It gives a place for life to begin, and it also gives a place for it when it ends. It's gravitational, it's grounded, it holds us and down in a good way. And it holds treasure. You have to dig, but there's all kinds of treasure and jewels and oil, underground lakes. There's so much underground that you can't see. And it spins. It's gravitational. The negative attributes is Earth will vary. It varies pressure. Pressure is underneath it. And sometimes there's an earthquake, or there's a volcano, there's an explosion when you least expect it. And Earth can be deeply damaged by the other elements, by water, by fire, and by wind. People who have this dominant personality tend to be very practical, very disciplined, very grounded, and very focused. They like instruction, they like rules, they like routine, they love results. They're very organized and they're perfectionists and they're extremely creative and they're finishers. When people you're going to find are starters. My husband is Earth. He's Earth and Fire. And I'm Wind. So he finishes what I start. Perfect. They're very supportive and nurturing. And they have a select few intimate friends and extremely loyal to them. And let me say that they're not unfriendly. They're very nurturing and they're out there and they're helping you. But remember how I said other temperaments can damage Earth? Earth doesn't have a need to have a whole bunch of friends. So if you are an intimate acquaintance with someone who has an Earth personality, consider yourself fortunate because they let you in. Velda Brotherton is one. She's going to take care of everybody. Who knows Velda? She has very few deeply intimate friends, but she loves everybody. So there's just, you see the difference? You know, you're just not going out and calling everybody your best friend.
And Velda and Dusty were friends.
Oh, deeply.
Deep.
In fact, I mean, rumors flew that they had an affair. They didn't.
That you know of. We gotta keep the rumors going.
No, because I thought I had talked about. Give me the dirt. But anyway, Earth people don't like to chit chat. So my husband, I used to get so mad at him. I'd be out there, the social butterfly, talking to you, and all that. He'd find one person, go in the corner, and they'd stay there all night long. Most unfriendly man I ever seen. Until I understood that's how he was wired. So I started letting him be off in the corner with this one person who was also Earth and was trying to hide. People who have this temperament are very connected to the Earth. They love to hike, camp, garden. They love being in nature. And have you ever talked to somebody and they're looking at you and they're doing this and they haven't heard a word you said? They're probably Earth because Earth spins. So when I'm talking to Neil, he's got all these other things on his mind. So later on, I'll say something. You go, "Oh, you didn't say that." I was like, "No, I'm gonna start saying you mean nice."
Well, that's my husband did out.
And then this is more my son than my husband, but he's just quiet. He's Earth. I hope the boy's Earth. And he's just going on seemingly unbothered by everything. And then this little feather hits the ground and it's just, whoa! It's just boom! And you go, where'd that come from? Well, he can pressure it down and he just couldn't do it anymore. So everything that had been bothering him for 6 months comes out, you know, and we're all just going, we're all crispy critters in the room. We just, you know, learn to crisp. So this personality, they need accuracy and structure. They need to get schedules and rules. And they have to analyze everything that drives them nuts. Neil will take hours analyzing where we're going to have lunch. I mean, it was just, he has to analyze everything. Give them specifics, facts, figures, and data. And they are not risk takers. So you look, before you encourage them, look for ways to minimize risks. Earth riders tend to be plotters. That means they have an outline, plot their story. And they usually despise marketing themselves. They want other people, Earth people are so rich. They are so full of richness, but they will never let you know that inside them are jewels and energy and all these things, these wonderful minerals that people want. You have to dig to get to know them and dig to see how wonderful they are, because they're not going to tell you. Fire will tell you. They won't tell you. So they don't like to market themselves for that very reason. They are excellent researchers. If you want someone to research something out for you for your historical novel, find an Earth person that's oxygen to them. They love to research. They meet deadlines. And because of their connection to Earth, when you read their prose, they have a beautiful sense of place. In other words, they put you in the room, the woods, whatever your character is. You can see it, smell it, taste it, feel it. They are detail conscious. And so they're gonna have everything right, especially in historical. They're gonna have all their dates right, they're gonna have everything right. And their writing's complete. It doesn't leave you going, huh? What was that? Like a few pages. Yep, so that is complete. So their strengths are they're excellent researchers, or writing is well thought out. They can cause words to become the images in the reader's mind. Excellent editors. They'll meet the deadline, very focused on their project. However, their challenge is a result of their strength. Their challenge is they get lost in their research. And they don't understand because they are researching for days, weeks, months, years before they ever start writing. They keep starting over because they're perfectionists. One of Dusty's favorite stories was about a lady in his critique group before I got there. And her character, the very opening of her novel scene was the characters in the basement. And every week she'd come back and had rewritten the scene of this character in the basement. Dusty said, when are you gonna get her out of that basement? So that's the problem is you keep starting over. And I think it's really hard for an earth person just to write pants. Just keep, you fix it later. They don't like that. They want it perfect.
First chapter, 1 year.
Well,
First chapter, first book, 1 year.
so far, I'm a fire and earth. But I knew I didn't know anything about writing. So I'm gonna take all the advice I can get, and I did spend 1 year on the first chapter. Because every time I took it, everybody had something I should fix.
Oh, and I love critique groups, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, finally I decided, this book's not gonna go anywhere if I do this.
When you go to a buffet, at least I don't get everything on that buffet. And so you have to treat critique groups the same way. And you take what resonates with you and the rest of it, you let it go. Because everybody's got a different style.
Well, I was so new
Yeah.
at the craft that I didn't know who was right, who was wrong, so I just took everybody's advices. They know it and I don't, which just shows that I can take the cake. Do well, but I'm a perfectionist, so every time they found one little thing wrong, I had to fix it.
Yeah. But now you know
Not
just
so much now.
what
No,
resonates with
not
you
so much
in your
now.
story, yeah.
But I still can take it.
And they have too many ideas. And so those spinning ideas cause inertia. And because, pardon? Oh, okay. And because of their nurturing natures and the research and the perfectionism, they get bogged down more easy. Do you feel like you get bogged down? Yeah.
Now we're going to come to me.
Some of those, right? There's some of more than those.
I'm the Wendy Leonard. We're going to talk about air. I'm not necessarily black, but air, we're going to talk about air. You have to have it, don't you? You can't live without air. It's wind scatters seeds into the earth, and this is their positive attributes. So the earth can reproduce. Wind going through trees, going through bell towers, wind chimes, so very musical. Wind creates energy. It moves forward as well, and it's uplifting. It's playful. Watch the leaves fly up and down, and it touches everybody. When this morning, when I got up and I was just spend some quiet time on my front porch, just like velvet on my skin. It's independent. It's the only thing that doesn't require earth, fire, or water to exist, or to even do its job better. It transports, think about ships, sailing ships. It incorporates and changes the texture of food. Whipped cream, egg whites. It expands, think about balloons. And it surrounds the earth and creates atmosphere. The negative attributes to wind is it can come from all directions and big gusts. And you never really know what direction it's coming from. Watch the trees doing this number, you know, and think, oh, I'm no woman, this is not good. It's unstoppable. I mean, it can get under doors, through cracks, through door holes, you can't stop them. And it can be destructive. Tornadoes, wildfire, and hurricanes. So people who have air dominant personalities tend to be very kind and friendly. They love people and they love getting to know them. And they love to bring people together. They're very inclusive. They're very motivational. And they like to create a fun and positive atmosphere. If you want to have a great party, great entertaining, a great meeting, a great conference, you need a wind person on the board. They're great starters. They love to they have so many ideas, and they love to get things started, and then they get bored. And they move on to the next great idea. So you've got a room full of great ideas. They're just not finished. They're very optimistic. Remember I was saying how wind's uplifting? They're very optimistic. And they love change. Earth people don't like change. You love change.
Depends on the thing that needs changing.
No, she's got a garage full of furniture that she doesn't want to get rid of because she downsized her house, so don't even say that.
Well, see, your friends know you
Well,
better.
I've collected it for 51 years.
Said Art. But anyway, wind loves change. Do you remember how they changed directions? You know which directions going from. They like open doors and windows. They don't want anything to impede them moving forward. Neil, every door in the house is shut. So I might be coming through something with, well, no, look at this door thinking, why? You know, I put everything down, open the door, pick it up, take it over here, put everything down, shut the door because he likes them shut. Even when I'm sitting in my office with my door wide open, he comes by and he shuts. And it's just that he likes enclosed spaces. Wide open. Have you ever noticed people when they're coming to husbands and moms, I've seen you, you're so, you know, they can't talk to people without touching them. Just like
Your hands are
Aaron
cold.
with.
Goodness gracious.
I know they're always like that. But they're fun, they're great communicators, they love microphones, they love telling stories, they love being in front of people. It's so good to be back in front of people, I'm telling you. I'm loving it. They can be a breath of fresh air, and they can be very extremely scattered and disorganized, like a whirlwind that blew through it. And if you want to see an example of that, just look at my desk at home. They get bored easy. It's so hard for them to finish what they start. This might help you know if you're with me. I'm going to spend all day and I'm going to get so much accomplished and I'm going to clean like house fire. So I got this and I go into this room and I set it down. And look. So I pick that up and I take it over to the room and I set it down. And I pick this up and then I put it in the closet and I look and there's a pile of magazines in my closet. So I sit down.
The top of it's really interesting.
And at 5 o'clock, I've been busy all day. Nothing has gotten done. That's for wind people. If they are, you know, they like attention too, and they like drawing attention to themselves. And unlike Dusty, who can just be Dusty and everybody's on to him. If people are talking and I'm telling a story, and I tell they're not listening to me, I'll say, well, and this is what happened, and I'd raise my voice. Just so you'll listen to me, pay attention to me. They're demanding attention all the time. That can be very annoying. They're very nosy people. I can tell you your social security number after knowing you for a 10-minute conversation. I tell my husband, oh, well, they have 5 children, 3 of them were born in May, and he's going, how do you do that? So, but we're very nosy people. And we're very forgetful. So it's hard for us to hold a grudge. And that's the one thing I wish I could improve on. Because Neil can remember things from way back. And I'm saying, you did it too. I know you did. I remember. I don't know exactly what it was, but I remember. Yes. And because we're people pleasers, we overcommit. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. And we have to work hard to follow through because we're terrible time managers. Because they're like the closet thing, I'm just going to go through this for a few minutes, 6 hours later, The relationship needs of people like me is we need attention from others. We need to be able to express ourselves. And it's got to be fun and exciting to do something. If you have my friend Cozy Dixon told me one time that she was talking to an office full of people, and they were trying to find out the best way to get their employees to do the maximum job. There was one person that they were having a lot of trouble with. And she could tell right away he was a mean person. So he was talking, and he said, well, his boss pulled her aside. I'm in trouble with this one. He doesn't get his work done. And she said, let me ask him a question from the boss. And she said, if you can do your job at Starbucks, you think you could get it done? Goes, oh yeah. And so she asked the boss, she said, would you let him take his job to Starbucks? He said, yeah. No problem after that, because it was different. And it was fun for him to be in Starbucks and have all the people around him and all the exciting things, even the smell and the sound of coffee was just feeding into him. So he did a lot better job. Children, when they're at school, their children, they do not do good behind the desk. Because remember, wind moves forward. So they need to be able to get up and move around from station to station to station, or if they sit at a desk. When I'm writing, I sit for about 20 minutes at a time, and then I have to get up and move. Velda Brotherton, she'll start writing at 10 and look up at 6 o'clock. I can't fathom that. But she digs in and she's done.
She used to write as Elizabeth Gray, if anybody has ever heard that.
And she's got 2 or 3 names.
I don't know, I remember even Elizabeth Gray.
Now she's just Velda. Yeah. They have to have interaction with people, and they need people that will help them finish what they start. So air writers are pantsers, and they're very good at marketing themselves. And because of their dominant personality traits, their strengths are they have great ideas. They have great ideas for everybody. They're great starters. They're positive, and they're writing without trying. Everything I write has an inspirational twist to it, even though I'm not thinking, I'm write inspirational. It just happens. They tell an excellent story, and even when they're telling you the truth, they embellish it really well. A Christmas tree with all the lights. They can influence and be motivational in every genre they write without trying. And they're enthusiastic and energetic. Their challenge is organization. They're very inconsistent and they don't finish what they start. I mean, it's not that they can't, but that's when you realize that's your challenge, you say, okay, I'm gonna get better about that. Challenges don't mean that you can't change. It means this is something you need to change. Work toward it. They're constantly changing.
their distraction, shiny, you know, they have, when I'm sitting down and I've got to start, I don't know about you, but writing the bones of the story is harder for me than changing it. So maybe that's, Earth people can write the bones of the story and maybe they have more hard time changing it. But for me, I can find everything to do. No, that needs cleaning. I bet I haven't cleaned it in a long time. I think I'm gonna go pull the weeds in the garden. Yeah, I can think of everything I need to do other than sit down and write down the beginning bones of the story of the novel. Again, they overcommit. They get bored with their story, which is never good, but I mean, has anybody ever written this as this is crap? So then I can not come up with something and I'll be, can't come up with the word, or can't come up with that phrase, I can't, what's gonna happen next? I can't think of it. So just get up, I can take 6 steps and go, that's it. And then I'll go sit down. But it's because I got up and moved around. And that's the way I have to work. And then water. Beautiful, beautiful personality. Think about water. It reflects, it sustains life. It's cleansing, refreshing, it flows, and it's deep. And it's not grounded, it's not foundational, but it does support. We use water to move some of the heaviest cargo that we have. It's flexible. Think about the water in the bottle. You know, it conforms to what's inside. It's humble. I mean, it seeks the lowest place. It creates energy, and it also can be musical. And then water helps us connect. Think about all the rivers and streams that help connect land. It's peaceful and relaxing. It always takes the least path of resistance. If you're watching it, there's a big stone, what does it do? It doesn't try to go over, it just goes around. And if you throw a rock in the water, it causes ripples, but in no time it settles, right? So it smooths itself out. The negative is it's easily contaminated. Water going along, maybe through a dump, it's going to pick up that stuff, isn't it? Or things along the edge of the banks, it's going to pick that up. It floods, it erodes. Grand Canyon, think about Grand Canyon. And it also causes rust. People who have a water dominant personality are very reflective, very deep thinkers. And there's nothing you like, a water person likes better is sit by water and just think about deep things. Or reflect on life, reflect on a problem, reflect on all the things they have to be grateful for. They're always reflecting and thinking. They can conform and fit in any group they're in. So they're the perfect travel companion because where do you want to eat? I don't care. Where do you want to eat? What do you want to do? I don't know. I'll just do whatever you want to do. And they truly are happy to do that. You bet. Don't make me make a decision. Finally, I've had it because I'm water. So finally I said, okay, I'm going to tell you 3 places and you decide. So, because I don't like making decisions. They're easy to please and they can settle themselves. You can upset them, but it won't take them long for them to go, oh, that's what she is, that's what she is. Whatever. That's our favorite word. We like to connect people with people. We also enjoy time alone. So that's kind of a weird thing in the air and water, you know, because I love people, I love being out, but there are some times I have to pull back and be alone. Unlike me, they like to stay in the background. When I talk to corporations about it, and you see all the water people, they're in the back So I'm asking for people to get input in this. If they could meld into that wall, they would. They like to be in the background. They're cool and collected. And they can see all points of view. So you can put out promising, this drives me crazy. This person is driving me crazy because. And I'll say, oh man, I see that. And someone else said, well, but think about this, this, and this about this person. And I'll say, yeah, I see that. So, they seem kind of like they have no opinion at all. But it's because they're reflective, they can see both sides, which makes them excellent mediators. They're compassionate. They have a lot of fun, and they're always going to seek the path of peace. So that's their, their positive. Did you get a positive? This thing. Somehow I missed it. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. So what they need is stability and compassion. When you're talking to a water person, you have to soften your tone. They don't do well when fire comes up and says, Sharon, I need you to. Sharon's just going. Are you fine?
I'm fine.
Yes. You just go, Sharon, if you don't mind, I need this. And when you have time, you have to, because if not, they're gonna freeze up on, they don't communicate with you. You speak to them in a relaxed, slower pace. And they want, when you're giving them policies and how you want things done, you can tell them, but always have it written down too. And don't be afraid to think, they want to connect with you. So let them know how you're feeling. Tell them a story. They have to have the emotion along with everything else. Water riders are also cancers. They go with the flow. But they can tend to sometimes structure it a little bit more so than men. Their prose is easy to read and it's very conversational. You know what I mean by conversational? It's like the writer is talking to you and in kind of across the table copy clutch thing. They can flow and write nonstop. And they can write about deep and controversial subjects in a clear, unoffending style. Fire doesn't care if they offend you or not. It's like I speak my mind, and if it offends you, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Someone know.
Yeah, but water riders, they're very careful, and they can say the same thing without being offensive. They can understand all sides of the matter, and that makes them write very convincingly. And they can tell their stories and promote in you empathy. What's wrong? Fire! No. But their challenges are they need boundaries or they're going to flow all over the place. So think about rivers, they all have banks, don't they? Streams, they all have banks. They procrastinate because they're going to seek the easy way. They can get really muddy in their prose when they flow all over the place. They can erode themselves by comparing themselves to others. And they have feelings of insecurity. And they'll put off their writing and they'll get rusty. Now, don't have time to go into characters, how you use this with characters, but you've got a worksheet on that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you say that the water personality is the most usable? I mean, it's the most people to take advantage of because you know, they.
I would say yes to both, wind and water. Yeah, because you can guilt and wind. or
I mean,
something.
some personalities are easy to use, some are like, okay, fine, sorry I asked.
Yeah, water and wind.
Water,
Yeah.
okay.
In your characters, there's one part in there. I suggest, whatever you're writing now, I want you to determine the dominant, but most of us have two dominants. There's dominant one, and then there's one's close second. To give your character two dominant personality, fire, say fire and earth. And then what you need to do is write about how they would react. I've got that in there, how they would react in different circumstances. Then how they would interact. So how, if earth, fire and wind are in an argument, what's gonna happen? What happens when fire and air meet?
It's where
Fire wins, gets hot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it gets big. But what if water came along? They're gonna cool the situation down. Or they can put fire completely out. So those are the kind of fun things when you've got your characters, is to look at your characters and say, okay, what's the positive thing that how they can help each other when they interact? What's the negative thing? And then you've got to say, what is something that you're, in good writing, you always have your character and you say, what is something that my character would never do? And then they can do it. But for this, it's what character trait that they would never have. And so like me with wind. You would never have your wind character super organized and efficient, and you're gonna have to show signs that, oh, God, Post-it notes. What would I do about Post-it notes? So think about something that their temperament would not let them do. It wouldn't, fire temperament wouldn't cower and say, you're right, I'm so wrong, I'm always wrong, how about I didn't offend you? Fire people aren't gonna say that.
This is called conflict.
Yeah. But what you want to do is be true to their temperament, and they can be fire and control, but they're still not going to cower. So does that make sense?
So fire people have trouble asking for forgiveness, probably, right?
Because they're always right, they never think they need forgiveness.
So, yeah, if they come up to a point where they realize that maybe what they did was wrong, but they don't have a.
I think part of that goes away as you get older.
Yeah.
Or another thing that they'll do is they'll come up to you and be magnanimous and honest. They'll be honest. These are the weaknesses. There are challenges, but they'll overcome those. Yeah. So at first, when you're writing a novel and you got character, they start out one way, but by the end, they have to be different. They have to be changed in some way, and that would be a good way for you to see them change, is if they become humble.
Well, all people are somewhat of a combination.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's no set thing, but we all pick a few. So, yeah.
We manifest dominantly in one or two ways.
Yeah.
We all have all of that. If Earth people, what's in the center of Earth?
Fire.
So fire's going to show up in Earth people sometimes. That's right.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
So does anybody have an idea what they are? I want to go around and see. We know Howard. We know you. What's your secondary?
I think I'm Earth, fire.
Fire.
I would say fire.
Fire.
I've been told I'm Earth for years, so. I don't know.
You're going to go with it, huh?
I don't.
You're kind of
I
air
had one of
too.
those personality contests, or not contests, but tests years ago. And I was pretty well balanced.
We're easy to get along with, so, yeah, I mean, I would say it fits.
Yeah, there is where you're all four, so, yeah. And that is a possibility.
I
Rare.
can see that even through.
I think I'm all
your
for all.
descriptions here.
Yeah.
We're all four,
Yeah.
but our dominant, how we especially in times of stress, you know, it really shows who we are.
During stress, I think
I
I'm
water
water.
than probably earth.
I'm really good at offending people. I think I'm fire. Probably some wind there, some disorganized, but definitely.
You've not offended me.
I don't know.
Okay, so what is she? Y'all know her.
She is, let's see, which one is, she's Earth,
I don't think you're more earth.
Yeah, I think you're more.
because she's very mellow, just mellow yellow, you know.
Well, that you call her
Mellow
I think my dominant would be urban man.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
I think my dome is water and maybe.
I can see that. Even watching you, I can see that.
I think maybe fire, but that might change after a weekend with water. You know?
Well, you're just fire in the heart. Delightful. warm,
Easily molded fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, none of these are bad. You
No,
know, none of these are bad.
I'm pretty much water, I think, what's the word there?
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you, guys. Yes. Thank
you. Thank
you.
Great. Our girls on the. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
seeing what they think
If
they
you have
are.
a Question too. Oh, no, this is hard. You gotta.
I love people at the bottom.
Okay, did you guys have any questions?
Not really. I just think I'm kind of mud because I'm a mixture of earth and water. So an equal amount.
You know what? That's another thing when you talk about how these, even within ourselves, how our personality, I could be my own hurricane. So, yeah. So mud, yeah, I get that, yeah.
And I was gonna say, I'm one, whoever mentioned that, whenever I've done these things, all my teaching years, all my other, I always end up even. You know, 25, 25, 25, maybe 23 and 22 or something, but I don't know, I'm probably more earth in a way, but then I think, okay, I'm water, I'm wind. And I think it depends on lifetimes, because I've been much more scattered the last 7-8 months than I ever used to be because of a life situation. So I think that, but yeah, but I do like to.
When you were a child, what would you, looking back on you as a child, what would you say you were more of?
Probably, well, we moved a lot. So I don't have, the friend thing really hit. I've got a few really strong friends that I connect with, but I never was real. I felt a little bit, okay, so way back when I made a thing, I've never been an oak tree, but we lived in Florida and the lilies I always felt like I was unrooted, but water lilies take their roots with them. And I thought, oh, that's what I am. I'm rooted. My roots travel with me. So it's kind of water and yeah, all that. But yeah,
For you
I
to,
don't
as
know.
a child, to be thinking that way would make me think you were connected to earth more than anything.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah.
But the friend thing really kind of, because I'm a backseat observer, and I know there's things that we do backseat, middle of the row, middle of a group, side of a group, and I talk about that when I do workshop, because I hate when people tell you, oh, we need to move up or do something. I don't process as well. I'm an observer where I want to see the whole thing. My son wants to be in the front row, so he's right there in the front of stuff. And so I'd sit in the front, but I couldn't process as well sitting in the front as I could when I'd sit there and I could kind of see the entire picture. So you will never see me in a group say move. If you're in a place, I let you stay there.
Well, so processing, you're also reflecting. So that's
Yeah.
very important too.
Yeah.
That's like, as far as writing goes, I get an idea and then I just sit down and pants that first chapter. And if I can get that first chapter, then I know I've got something with legs. And then I take each chapter after that and I do an extensive outline, even to the point of adding dialogue as I go. So it's kind of a mixture of pantsing and plotting.
Yeah,
So
that's the best kind. See, what you do is you're getting your story, then you structure. Story's more important than structure.
right.
But you get your story down, then you structure it. That's smart.
I do have a question. I'm doing this presentation in March, at the end of March, to the Young Writers Conference. And do you mind if I reference you as far as the elements?
Oh, yeah,
Earth,
that's
Wind,
fine.
Fire,
Yeah.
so that
And we
I'll
have
bet
some
I'm
extra
sure-
stuff here if you want to take it.
Well, I won't be able to probably get up there until,
Oh,
but I've got I've got a very good idea, but I wouldn't copy it. I would just
I'm
reference.
not
you.
worried about that.
Okay.
Just go to linda@lindaapple.com and I'll email it to you.
Okay, that would be great.
linda@lindaapple.com.
Let me write that down because I will surely. Linda Apple.
No, linda@lindaapple.com.
That's her email address.
That's my email address.
At lindaapple.com.
And just tell me what you're needing and I'll send it all to you.
Okay, because for 7th and 8th graders, I think they can relate to that better than to a lot of things. But
Yeah.
I'll be sure and cite you because I just want to say, you've got an idea for your story. Now, how do you build your characters? And
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
so, well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Do we have any more questions? for Linda? Linda, thank you so much.
My Facebook page and vote for Winston.
Oh, yeah,
He's
he's,
America's favorite pet. He's
Aw.
still, he's one. He's in the top 10, then he goes to top 5, and then he goes into finalists.
so her Facebook is Linda Lowe Apple, Lowe. And that's her little pup.
Yeah, I've got it at the bottom of some of these papers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's basically it's Linda C. Apple in the little thing. It's Linda Lowe Apple, but it's Linda C. Apple.
Well, we've got some door prizes. Okay, so. Number 8 is Butch. You just won a door.
Good.
It's a surprise, right?
You can either come pick or I can just pick one for you. Do you, this,
I'm trusting you with it, probably a mistake, right?
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Here, pass it.
On the bottom of the pages.
Does anybody have a tablet this might fit?
Logical of the earth.
Okay, so it must be.
Yeah, the
fine.
dimensions.
Yes.
It's not looks like.
They're very
Yeah, but
My
I guess,
husband was amazing too.
yeah, right.
Which that means you eliminate.
Because,
You help them to
That's
see
the
and
thing for it.
understand.
all right,
The teacher was the best.
see who else.
I mean, I do all of these points. but
Number
it's-
4.
it's has to be large. It's not large, but then you need to-
Very equal answer. There you go.
No, that's not a good door prize.
Oh.
I just gave it to you.
Winston lets me bring his cards.
This is a little shelf that goes on the wall. Of course, this is good cover. Business cards and one of those.
Did a nice job.
Well, it's a great way to look at personality.
Oh, it is.
To identify and kind of stay within the parameters of what's.
It
Linda,
helps you to understand it too. I mean, I'm
You-
saying my marriage.
you want a door prize?
Because
You want-
stop and you think, "Yeah, he can't help it. He's just. like that."
Yeah.
And it's the same thing for me. What is it now?
You want a door prize?
I can go
Yeah, sure.
Now you're gonna learn my dirty little secrets.
Oh, good.
There's a few in there.
Won't be secret very long. It's not against.
I don't have to read the book.
And Conita. You need a business card holder?
I was married for 20 years. I lost my husband 2 years ago. We fought, I'm not fought, because I'm not a fighter. I don't like to escalate things beyond, he was a fighter. He was a true fighter.
He was a butthead.
A little bit, yeah.
Not really.
But he was stubborn. He was very stubborn.
When Neil and I first married, and he was my second husband. He is my second husband.
I didn't even know you could have more than one.
I'm on 3 or 4, I think.
But I had Amanda by my first husband, who was a true friend. And so Neil would come home from work. And Amanda would be looking through the curtains, going, "Daddy's home, Daddy's home." And she'd just run and be there, and he would walk in, pass us, not say a word, go through the curtains, straighten them. and then turn. Hacked me off, made me so mad. But then I realized. It's just the way he is.
Well, which sign would be the race maker?
Pardon?
Which sign is the piece, I mean, which
Peacemaker would be. water.
treasure water?
Oh,
I got weird parts.
oh, no pressure, no pressure.
I was a peacemaker, but I have fire. Oh, okay.
Come on, I didn't write that down.
Earth has fire. Sometimes
Under
that
much
fire's got
coercion.
fire.
Yeah,
Volcano.
It's easy job.
some of it, it's been learned over the years. Yeah. Professor. So,
Yeah, that's exactly what Sharon said.
Yeah, yeah, I mean.
And when you confront.
Those are in trouble.
Fires either vaporize and disappear. You know, like, it gets really hot. And sometimes I just disappear.
Want to take those to your kids?
Strawberries in there?
And, or I'll freeze up.
Have some strawberries?
You know, both, you know, it's what water tends to do.
Yeah. I don't know. We can back off from. Because, again, seeing all the sides of it, one side is not always.
I don't.
Right. I know, you're.
No.
Yes, you. Yes, chair. There's, you saw it. You know, see the logical, always comes down now. It's part of my sense of humor too. You saw it, you don't get it. I didn't ask for that. But, and you know, but that's a good writing tool.
It really is. It really helped me because my, third book in my Moonlight Mississippi series is out May 5th, and it's Lexi. And she is fire and wind. And it really helped me to crystallize her. You know, she's not buzzy at all. So it really helped me writing her.
I don't know what's created me, but I write futuristic
Oh,
romance because
I love that. Like,
I like to create my own worlds, my own rules, my own.
I love time.
Oh, I even time travel in my futuristics, yeah.
Yeah, I love time.
One is a complete time travel issue because the father was poisoned, so they have to time travel and try to figure out what he was given to try to help him and so on,
Are
so.
you adjourning the meetings like right there?
Huh?
Yeah, adjourning the meetings like right there.
The meeting is adjourned and we're going to lunch and we're going to FD.
Where's FD's? What is that?
Across the road.
It's, if you go up here to Quick Trip, you go to Quick Trip, take a right and it's just around the corner there.
What is it? The name of it?
FD's Steakhouse.
Steakhouse. Is that a Ford steak?
We're between this and.
Oh my God, she drives me crazy.
You're too much.
You're just.
Yeah, we're going to the retreat and she's gonna let me drive and we're taking my car. Right?
That's pretty fiery, isn't it?
Did you ever know Lois Spoon?
Those booms.
You are her incarnation.
Really?
Hey, Sharon, give directions to FDs.
Just go up here to Quick Trip, or you can actually just, if you go out here by the library, just go straight across the street.
Which, are you coming that way or this way?
So between.
Go
Where
ahead.
is it in relation to Academy?
Yeah, Academy's over here, but FD's is up on the hill on El Camino.
So you take the line
Up
to
behind.
You cross the freeway thing?
You,
Is that
no,
behind?
wait, okay,
Google it.
if you go out of the library, you go left.
Go up by Zaxby's.
And you go by Zaxby's and you make a right.
Okay, so it is up that way.
Instead of turning, you're gonna go straight.
Straight across
Right next to Andy's frozen custard.
I'm following you.
Okay. So you know where Andy's frozen custard is over here? Okay, so you just, yeah, it's behind that up on the hill.
I don't have a clue.
I don't give directions.
I don't either.
It's up here next to Andy.
We have
I'll
trash.
see it. I'll see it. I mean, I probably do.
Bye-bye, Jan.
Has even one word.
If you go too far, your next road.
So I
Texas
go
Roadhouse.
pretty.